with you, Sumit. How has COVID-19 impacted your business, the positive as well as the negative impacts to your business in your country? What can you tell us about that?
Uh, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. COVID, for a change, has really shaken the entire world. No words or no second questions on that. But the biggest positive to begin with, I would say that everyone in the world have understood the importance of logistics and how it really helps not only for business but even for your day-to-day survival. When it comes to the challenges which in India we really faced was India is a massive country with so many people with logistics taking place at every corner of the country, at every corner of the street. Everything came to a standstill. The operations were challenged, the way a person lives, a way a person works, the entire systems was challenged dramatically for the operations which were supposed to be done during the COVID times as well. In terms of logistics, yes, the challenge were raised from the shipping lines, from the airlines with respect to the capacities, from the perspective of the shippers or the importers who were having very limited resources to communicate, to practically manage their business. In same applies to us. But at the same time, we must appreciate that the Indian government, our own team, everyone stood up and they were allowed to work with certain guidelines to ensure that the essential services were being supported by the logistic service providers. So that was a very good part that really people stood up to the occasion and they could manage things better. With respect to a couple of more negatives and positives, I would say with respect to negatives, for sure, yes, the volumes dropped down. They are slowly picking up, but some old payments were also, getting difficult to really manage nowadays. However, on the positive front, we did the revenues are better than before. The margins, the working capital has been managed much better now, and the overall industry is really looking positive ahead. And we have been, specialized in chemicals and pharmaceuticals, which really helped us to perform even better during the lockdown period. So overall, no complaints from the business perspective, but yes, we look forward to have a better future for everyone.
Thank you, Sumit. If I can move on to Raj, how has COVID impacted your business, the good side and bad sides?
Well, I'm sure, like the rest of us here, the first 2 months of April and May, I'm sure we all want to forget and wipe out from our memories. There were obviously lockdowns, shutdowns, and while in the US, I'm sure same worldwide, transportation was deemed to be one of the essential services, but our customers were shut down. So as you can imagine, containers were arriving, piling up, factories were closed, became a real challenge. And so suffice to say, April and May were our worst months. Our business was down about 10 to 15%. And that was because we were fortunate to have one of our customers have a large project that really saved the day for us. Otherwise, our decline could have even have been 20%. By June, we started seeing the business pick up. And I'm guessing the rest of the world felt the same way. For PGL specifically, there are 4 sectors that we're pretty strong in. There are a couple others. One is hospitality, hotels. We all know what's happened to the hotels. They've been shut. Aviation is a big sector for us. We all know the planes have been grounded, and even now there's barely 25% of flights up in the air. So that hurt us. And the biggest, another vertical we are in is exhibition trade shows. We all know that those have been closed. That's why we all here on a virtual. There's our exhibition trade show being held right now virtually. And of course, retail wholesale. PGL has a few retail wholesale clients. Fortunately for us, we also have a few high-tech clients. That really, really saved the day. I just mentioned, for instance, Chicago, which is one of our big office. Chicago did not feel COVID. Chicago actually, in the months of April, May, while we were down, they were up. The whole country was down. Chicago was doing more volume, so that kind of helped us a little bit. And last but not the least, we have a couple of customers who have had factories in China. And it's amazing how everybody's out-innovated themselves. They have become big players in PPE. In other words, these are companies who are not in PPE, but because of the deep relationships with China factories going back 3 decades, they, through the connection, were able to pick up. And we have 2 very strong customers now. They're doing more business than ever. And we are, of course, air freighting, as you can imagine. So that helped us. And going into Q3, we were very pleasantly surprised. Our Q3 was a record ever. which is hard for people to fathom, but I must give credit to PGL becoming part of this United States test kitting process. So one of our customers is leading the COVID-19 test movement, and they're one of the fastest growing companies. PGL is very blessed to have them as a customer. So it was both the overall pent-up demand as well as these test kits. So that's us in a nutshell.
Thank you. And Thomas, how has that affected? How has COVID impacted your business in Singapore?
Thank you, Niels. Once again, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everybody. Well, I think Raj and Sumit have said it all. It is an unprecedented disruptions, and this disruptions has not ended yet. In many cases, in many economies, we are facing similar phenomena. The phenomena where there are job losses, of course, and it sharpens actually in a lot of companies, especially the small and medium-sized enterprise, to look carefully, not just on physical flow of products, but also on the financial flow, as well as the information flow. Now, so there's a lot of changes, there's a lot of disruptions, and companies who have moved faster than the other in terms of transformation actually survive better. And we are no different. It forces us to look at the cash flow. I think let's be real, for small and medium size, cash flow is one of the main challenges that companies look at. And it also forces us to transform the way we do businesses. We now implement more technology features, and we are kind of lucky to take advantage of situations like transforming our business to do more on domestic moving, as well as last mile fulfillment in terms of e-commerce delivery, the first and the last mile, especially for the food, especially for the pharmaceutical products moving into the different stores and getting it distributed to the different touch points. So of course, now the big challenge is what kind of recoveries we're looking at. There has been a lot of efforts. We're quite fortunate in the case of the Singapore situation. We have a lot of initiative, augmented by the government. So companies are getting a lot of assistance to ensure that they transform gradually and quickly as well sometimes, especially in critical industry verticals. So we move along and try to be innovative to change the way we do businesses. Yeah, so that's the way we try to counter it. And we are quite fortunate in the sense that we have moved into new opportunities, the opportunities to be engaged more on the last mile. And this helped us pretty much in that sense. Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas.